Hey everyone, welcome to my channel. My name's Lizzie. I hope you're doing well and ready to learn a little bit more about my library and my tools. This category I'm calling is special interest, and because it ranges with a lot of different things. I have numerology, dream cards, chakras, so this could be used across the board and there's no other way to shove it in. So I use this as my special interest, like what tool do I need to dig in a little bit more category. But also I want to show you some things that I have in my studio to help not only further my development, but give my page a little something extra. So recently with my index cards, I wrote every minute of every possible day from 1 o'clock all the way till 12:59. For some of them I filled out, but mostly I've just been looking up the times. And I call it, what time is it on your spiritual clock? Because this mixes numerology, and a lot of people see repetitive times on the clock, so that could even further hit home their message to your viewer. It takes a lot of time. It would take me probably a year to fill all of these out, so I recommend just writing it down. And I have my cell phone right next to me, and I just have Google open and I read it to them, or you can have them look it up themselves if they're interested, if you don't want to do that. So again, that's a little bit of a self-made numerology thing. But okay, so this kind of feeds me into my next category, but I say this a lot in these, but I used to work at a printing company. Because I talk about it so much, it's because where I get most of my tools. This deck is the first deck I ever made, and these are actually, I don't want to get too close because these are actually someone's like wedding, what is it? With respect, we request our special day to be an adult-only event. So register at their wedding thing, and kid-friendly wedding. So I don't want to show that, but they were thrown out in the paper trash, and I just, before my break, I took them out. I used to get an hour lunch break, and it's hard to fill an hour, so I made my deck on my lunch break, and that was the first deck I ever used before I bought any cards. I was sitting there just trying to figure stuff out. It says the rainbow, which to me was good luck, an event, so something's happening. You're my twin flame, so love has arrived. The spotlight, you're getting attention. I want to take you on a vacation, take flight. Then I have ones like the preacher, someone who is very politically correct, maybe uptight. Description cards, it's like a mixed bag of all different kinds of things, because I was trying to learn, and I would sit there at lunch all the time and just practice and hone my craft. And I remember that so much, and even though it's kind of like crappy, shitty quality and I can't show it on camera, I kept it. It's like, you know how some people save the first dollar they made in their business in a frame? This is like that for me. Hold on to your first ones, because it's like a happy memory to play with them. I've been using them in a few readings, and it just brings back, wow, look how far I've come, and good memories of, like, I can remember the day I made these. I had to sneak out my Sharpie from my desk. Alright, so like I said, in the printing factory, we made invitations, and in between the invitations, we would put this hard poster board-like material. There's nothing on it, but we would put invitation, one of these, invitations, one of these, so that the ink didn't rub off, because these are really expensive quality invitations. So what the extras, like they come in long sheets, like this long, sometimes longer, so they cut them to the spec. So this was probably a menu by the size, like the wedding menu. These were the leftovers, because sometimes we either shipped them with these in between them. We usually like to use tissue paper, but it depended on what happened. When it comes from one printer and it goes to edging, that's mostly when these are used. When we package it for the client, you get the pretty expensive. This is just in-house, making sure we don't smudge it in between projects. It's vital, but they throw so much out at a time, it's like shocking. So before trash day, I'm dwindling down my stock. I would always like, these are perfectly good. There's nothing wrong with them. It's really hard poster board. I could cut these up and make cards. I saved all different sizes. I have big square ones. This was probably the actual invitation. This was probably like direction cards, or it could have been a small menu. I can tell by the sizes. But I used so much of this before my flood, and I lost all of the cards I made. I made so many decks out of this, but I've been using index cards, but I save it because if I ever want to like get these printed on, I could make official decks out of this. It's good quality paper, and they were just like throwing it out. And I mean, I had like, you know those big totes with the lid? I had like 2 of those full of this paper, and I was making so many decks, but then the flood happened and I lost them. And I lost a lot of my supplies, so I don't have as much. Also, this is just regular paper for the same purpose, very thin. We just put it between projects, and I still have stacks of this. When the kids come over, they use it as scrap paper if I just want to doodle, or I can cut this up and make something out of it. Save things. Or if you work for a company like that, take advantage. They always, as long as the project was done and they didn't need it, we got to take stuff home. These are the envelope liners. This was obviously a big square envelope, and this we would put tape, or it was like a tape gun, and then we would slide it in with our fingers and press it to the back. And so when you open the invitation, this would be the back of the envelope. No, envelopes don't come like that. We have to literally insert these into every fucking envelope because the envelopes come to us just white or vanilla. And this design was picked by a client, and so we had to line them. So any ones that called to me that were pretty, that I liked, I have I have like 5 or 6 Ziploc bags full of all different ones. This is boy plaid. This was a baby shower one. I remember that. Cityscape. All different cool ones. I save them because kids can use them to doodle on or write letters to their friends. I use this as stationery, but I used to. Some of them live through the flood down here. I made little paper decks, and I was doing this. It works. This was Divine Feminine, and this was Divine Masculine. Like, I was able to color coordinate. Like, there's all different ones in here. This is kind of like casino themed. These were all people's envelopes and liners they were just going to throw away. Most of them have gone to kids' art projects. I'm not going to lie. But I save all this shit because when you're a creative person, your creativity never goes away. And I will probably use this within the next 2 years. It'll be gone. I am down to 1 box full of shit. So I give these to parents, like, my nephew was really artistic when he was younger. I used to give him shit. I give it away instead of sitting in a garbage can somewhere. I also would take envelopes that were extra in the garbage bin because when you make little card decks, these are good to hold them in. For little notes, or if you gotta leave someone a key. I got all different sizes. I haven't had to buy envelopes for a while. This is my last bag though, because these are funky colors that I don't really use much. But they help me stay organized with other projects as well. Or for nice stationery ones. This would be good for a good Christmas card that's green. I've given a lot of envelopes away too. But anyway, anything can be used. I'm just showing you that. Let's get back into this. This is actually for horoscopes. I made a horoscope confetti. This is the challenges, giving them something to do that week. Like when I do the weekly horoscopes, it says stuff like, start a journal right before bed. So that week they would want their person that they're trying to connect to work on their feelings and process their thoughts by writing before bed. I channeled all these. I only use them in horoscopes. That's actually pretty new. I have cards, just like all my other ones, 99-cent pencil bags to keep your card fresh. Sayings, you're waiting on the money to come in. It's been a stressful ride. hang on, because soon it will reap what you need. So this is any kind of life or work advice. I label it, stay organized. And then we have more sayings and details. Like I made runaway bride or groom, raining on my parade, flame broiled. These are all words that kick off my creativity and channeling. I strongly suggest making decks like that. Like I made a whole, before the flood happened, I made a whole deck based on food, like cooking utensils, and it would tell me details in the situation. Helps me channel, opens my channel chops, if you will. Oh, I'm running out of room. And next, let's get into the rest of my numerology. This deck, I suggest it for everyone. I love numerology. It really always is active in my readings. I get a lot of messages. They didn't forget the lip. You know how I feel about that by now if you've watched them. I'm partial to this little thing, so I can just open it. Backs are cute, good quality, shine, gloss, numerology on the top, and a simple message. There's not much for artwork, but these call to me. I just pay attention to the numbers and the words. It's very active. I always get a response from this, and any kind of reading I use it in. Life, love, spiritual journey. I highly recommend this deck. You can get it on Amazon. Numerology guidance cards. My other two decks for numerology, I actually got this, I think, on wish.com. But you can get it in hardcover on Amazon, I believe. It's just regular card deck. You got your joker. You get the little book. Cute back. So it's not exactly like a regular card. They show you the playing cards so you can learn. So later down the road, you can just use the cards. But they help you learn, basically, how to turn a regular card deck into a tarot deck. So if you're interested in numerology, a lot of people just use regular card decks because the numbers mean something and all the signs mean something. This would help you learn that if you're interested. I don't use this too much. I guess I should read one to you. Like Ace of Hearts, the fox is close proximity. Distrust of acquaintances who are seeking to betray you, distant or less danger. So they do give you little messages to help channel. I don't really like how it's written though, because it's like the words just run off into the neck. Like they should have spaced it better so words weren't cut off, I guess. That's my only I don't really like about that. Other than that, it's a good one. Not that expensive. Mostly to help you learn how to use a regular card deck. And of course, here's my regular card deck that I made. Instead of using that one, I made my own. You can go on Google and you can look up every card. And you can Google what meaning you like, and I put the positive and the negative on each card, and I wrote it. So this has helped me in a lot of readings. I use it across the board on all kinds. It's kind of hand size. You can use a regular card deck if you want. I just find it easier to shuffle, and I reuse sandwich bag. If there's you use it for something that doesn't have crumbs or something sticky in it, reuse it, or else it's just going to go to the bottom of the ocean because people are assholes. Reuse everything. Alright, so let's go to my dream decks. Dream interpretation is huge in interpreting people's, because when we're sleeping, our subconscious comes out. There's no deluding ourselves or lying to ourselves or trying to sugarcoat things. The honesty comes out in your sleep. So understanding what people are dreaming about is very important to understanding the psychology behind what's going on. So this is Dream Interpretation Oracle Cards. You can find this on Amazon. Very simple numerology and words at the bottom, but the pictures help me channel. There's so many different meanings you can interpret from all of these. You really have to, this is for more advanced. If you're still a beginner, I would wait a little bit until you can really, because you have to just go on by the picture, basically. The word can help you, but this one just says sweets. So there could be like indulging in all different kinds of things. It could mean trying to put the love back into a situation. You have to be able to really tap in. This is for the more challenged reader, or the more, not challenged, the more developed reader. The backs are cool. I like it. I use this quite a bit for love readings and trying to help them figure out what they should do for a job type of readings. Alright, these two are actually both pretty new. I haven't had them very long. Nice, thick guidebook for this one. It's called the Dream Oracle Cards. Also on Amazon. Simple back. Again, picture with just a word on top and then more information on the bottom to help you interpret a little bit better, but you're going to have to depend on your gift here. So these are for more advanced, but not necessarily, because it has more words on the bottom. This would also be a good teaching tool if you're feeling brave and you want to test yourself a little more. I would try this out and Dream Interpretation. Really cute deck, affordable. Again, Amazon.com. It is Dream Oracle Cards. Now, if you're a beginner, this would be a good one for you. But even if you're advanced, it's also a good one. I have used it since I got it probably the most out of all my new decks, because I can use it across the board. Really nice guidebook, really nice box. It's got that magnet close. Gives you a nice extra protection for your cards. I like that they build that. I don't know if you watch my other ones, but there's always, you can tell who really cares about their product and who's had issues before, because if you make your box too big, your cards slide around and they get damaged. If you make it too small, that can also damage it. So by custom fitting these fillers, protects your card so much more. This is probably one of the only boxes that I have that does that. Again, working in printing, I've learned so much stuff. But the reason why these are good for beginners, also good for more experience, because one, it has numerology, a talking point, and great artwork, but then it gives you so much information on the bottom if you're a beginner as well. It says, gratitude. Focus on the things you do have rather than the things you don't or can't have. Gratitude is another form of prayer. Practice daily. Appreciate everything and everyone in your life. So they're dreaming. To me, this would be like somebody's dreaming about having the life of somebody else, like comparison. So this is Spirit trying to say, be thankful for what you do have. Don't be haunting yourself at night. Or you could just be like, you need to be more thankful. Spirit's like, you're complaining too much. So there's a million ways to interpret these. It has really nice artwork. The backs don't change much, but the colors do. There's like pink or greenish blue. I just like it because it has great artwork. Numerology. I focus more on the talking point word, but then you can read it to your viewer as well if you want, or you can just read it to yourself and help gauge what you should say, because not everything is valid in the reading. Maybe only a few words stick out to you. It helps you cut down the fodder as well. Alright, so let's go to astrology. I have two decks for astrology. This is the Zodiac Oracle. These are both on Amazon and both equally great. So let's look at this one as a really nice guidebook. Not much for artwork in the box. I'm not a big fan of these string things. It's like outdated. They all fall off and it just gets caught on stuff. I wouldn't recommend it. Use the filler like this. Alright, so very simple. But it has great artwork. Numerology at the top and of course the birth signs. Not a very thick deck. But not only does it have signs, but it has planets as well. So here's some more planets. Saturn. They have the sun and the moon. Venus, Neptune. Then they have the signs as well. Air, fire, earth, water. So there's a mix of everything. Signs, planets, sun, moon, and the types of astrology signs. Good mix. I use it across the board, all different kinds of readings. This one gives more detail and there's more cards and it's better quality. And I use it more than the other one, but they're both great. Ooh, I found my paper in the bottom of the box. That's no bueno. Nice guidebook. Nothing as far as artwork on the beginning, or in the box, in the beginning. But shiny, good quality card. I like the backs. The front, oh my god. The artwork is good. It gives you numerology. Also says the signs, and then it gives you some words to go off of. Then it also talks about things like Mercury retrograde. More birth signs here that talks about 6th house and all different house positions. Then what element are you in? Air element here. Black moon Lilith. There's all different kinds of stuff. Grand cross. Water element. So this is a good mix as well. Planets, signs, houses. Really good if you're into astrology. I definitely recommend this for love readings, horoscopes, like I said, any kind of reading. You always want at least one zodiac deck in your collection and one dream deck in your collection as well. Oh, sorry guys, getting tired. It's been a long day. So these are my mixed bag ones. We got a chakra deck here. Chakra Wisdom Oracle cards. This is fairly new. I got it on Amazon. A lovely box. That's the slide out kind. I don't hate it. Again with the ribbons that are pretty useless to me. But they have the self built in. Like if you don't want to do plastic, you can. This is cardboard and it doesn't come out. But it still keeps your card safe. Just if you're a card designer out there. The backs are cute. Kind of like Wizard of Oz, but chakra as well. Simple words and simple pictures, but there's so many good cards in here. I really like this deck. I've been using them a lot for love readings and personal growth readings, but it speaks to me. I like it. Nothing too fancy. This is a good deck to learn on as well. If you don't know the tarot and you want to learn how to tell fortunes, I suggest trying this one first. Very simple, won't get too confused. The guidebook isn't that thick and crazy. It's affordable. Amazon.com, my friends. Okay. This one I don't use too much. It's not one of my favorites, but I like it, and I would recommend it to people who are Buddhists. We have the Buddhism reading cards. Again, really nice box with that magnet close. Nice guidebook. Really thick, good quality. Again, with the fitted, so your cards are protected. Also, with the fitted and putting the book on top, does away with that need for the piece of paper. Protecting your artwork. So the backs are interesting. There's a lot of details. They're all different. Every back is different. But then it has sayings here. It's got numerology on the top, a talking point word, and a lot of messages. It can be very confusing. I would stay away from this if you're new, but let me read one for you. It says, loving kindness. When we feel love and kindness towards others, it only makes others feel loved and cared for. But it also helps us to develop inner happiness and peace. The Dalai Lama said that. The Dalai Lama. Maybe I'm hungry. Loving kindness is the distilled essence of pure love. As you open your heart, you are able to love the unlovable. Bring joy to sadness, faith to doubt, and light to darkness. There's like a lot going on. The artwork doesn't call to me either. I'm not trying to be mean to this creator, but if I could get my money back for this, I probably would. However, I'm not a Buddhist, so maybe that's the issue. I just wanted to see what it was about. This is the one that made me learn that you really got to do the research, look at the pictures, because not just the pictures that they advertise, but the pictures in the comments and the reviews. Because if I looked at the pictures and the reviews, I probably wouldn't have ordered it. They pitch it different when they're trying to get you to buy it. So look out for that so you don't run into them. I do use it sometimes. This is another one that's not my favorite. Kind of sits in the back. But it's not a crappy deck by any means. I have seen other people use it. This is a cute, like the guidebook. It's actually a slide in. So it stays nice and tight. I like that. There. And your decks not only have the built-in, but then they have their own case for further protection of your card. That's really nice. I don't see that too much. That's what the backs look like. It's got a bunch of stuff on it. I'm sorry, this is the back. All different backs, planets, signs, houses. So, planet, signs, and houses. And the cards say either it comes up this way or it comes up this way. So it's kind of positive, negative, but it says the North Node. Have faith in. So it gives you a talking point. What do they need to have faith in? Do not worry about. Now is the time to. So I feel like it gives you talking points. I didn't read the guidebook. Maybe it'll be more helpful if you do. I just pick one that I don't use all three. So whatever is relevant to the reading, like if this one was everything's lining up to the have faith one would make sense. That's the one I talk about. So again, this is for the more advanced. It's very confusing. I would not suggest it for a beginner. This is definitely for someone very advanced and who will actually sit down and read the guidebook. I just didn't have the patience. It wasn't talking to me enough, but it was, again, was another hint of I didn't do enough research before I ordered. Thankfully, there's not many of these in my collection except for the last two I just showed you and this one, but I don't really count this one as a horrible loss because this is a tool I can use and just for myself to better my gift. I don't really read it or use it in readings that much. Again, another example of they made their box too tight, even though they did the finger thing. If you make your box too tight or if you put too much shine, it's not going to slide. But it also could be because I don't use it too much, so maybe with more wear it will get easier. Kind of a cheap guidebook, nothing much on the inside. But this is basically just pictures and numbers. This is a deck that would teach you how to interpret shapes and colors. Like, how are you feeling when you look at this? What feelings does it inspire? This is the kind of deck that teaches you to tap into your imagination. Kind of like ink blots. What do you see? Everybody's going to see something different. That's very good for learning interpretations, colors, numerology. Again, this is something I use in my own time to just sit and think about all the things I channel. To me, it's like training. It's like a tool for me, the psychic, but you can use this in readings as well. This is more for artists and people who really live their life around color and work in chakras and auras. This is right up your alley. But again, to me, this is a training tool. This would be good for a beginner to learn how to trust their own intuition, or for someone like me who uses it as a tool to improve every part of the process. Because every time I use it, I interpret it differently. It makes me feel different. It definitely makes you tap into your artistic side. That's why I like that deck. So it's not a total loss, but I probably wouldn't order it now. I'm glad I have it though. So if you're new, I would recommend that. Or if you're kind of seasoned and these decks aren't inspiring you and you just need something to trigger, that's a good deck for that as well. So I hope that was helpful. I'll see you all next time. Please like, subscribe, and share away to anyone who might need this. I appreciate you all so much. See you later. Bye.